We're the Horror with your host with the most Annabelle. As always, welcome back, welcome back. So I'm going to be doing a revisited review. Yes, I am going to be talking about the 1974 classic in Black Christmas. No, I'm not going to watch that new one. No, I am not. I am not going to make myself, suffer for that shit. I'm just saying. But anyway, we're going to be talking about this one. I was going to actually try to rewatch the 2006 remake, because I know I'm often kind of like, with that remake. But since the newest one came out and it's been getting such bad reviews, I really do genuinely want to give the 2006 remake another shot, because I know I'm very hard on that remake, and I need to kind of like rewatch it to really give it a fair shot. And I have more motivation now, because like I said, this shitty 2019 remake that I refuse to even see. So, but no, let's talk about this one right here, 1974. This is obviously predating Halloween and everything. So this, this definitely did incorporate, or at least introduce, some of those horror tropes, although I know a few years later with Halloween, John Carpenter really kind of kind of unknowingly to him, kind of tightened up some of the horror rules and everything. For example, the virgin lives. Something that this does, the virgin dies, and she's the first one to die. Yeah, I should probably state there's going to be spoilers in this. I mean, it's over 40 years old. It's like 45 years old. So, I'm sorry, but I'm just saying. But, no, this one, like I said, the virgin is the first one to die, which, oh my god, unthinkable now. And that's the thing, when I was watching this, about a week or so ago, I was kind of it dawned on me, oh my god, the virgin is the first one dead. That's so weird to kind of, look at something like this, where it came out before the whole, slasher horror trend and everything, and, we have all these sort of set rules that were so kind of ingrained in knowing. But yeah, it definitely did set up, certain things, like I said, just without even realizing it. The point of view shot, which I know we've had in other movies before this and everything, but I think this definitely really kind of, executed pretty well and everything. And then the fact that the phone calls are coming from inside the house. Fast forward to a few years later, with when a stranger calls, and I know that the whole babysitter type of story where obscene phone calls are coming and comes to find out that it's in the house. I know that story's predated this movie by a number of years, I believe, but it's still to kind of see that. And this kind of influencing a few other movies that came out a little bit later that got so much credit for doing it for themselves, or being the ones that kind of introduced this, but a lot of it's gotta be here. And I'm not saying that everything that this movie did, it should have full credit for, because I mean, obviously we also had same year Texas Chainsaw, we had years before with things like Psycho, Peeping Tom and stuff. So, but this definitely did take note on some of those movies, incorporated it, and really kind of helped other filmmakers take note on what you should have, what your protocol should be for a slasher movie. So, I mean, I gotta give it props, whether you like this movie or not. Gotta give it props. Something that I do really love about this movie, and I know I'm pretty positive that I mentioned this when I first reviewed this movie a few years ago. Something that I do like about this is that we have no idea really who the killer is, other than Billy, and I'm was his name even mentioned? And I think it was, at least on the phone or something. At least we hear the name Billy, and the sort of the different weird things that are going on over the phone. Talk about sort of at one point a little bit of a sister and a mother or something, and his jumbleness and everything. I give that credit too, because as much as I like how they did the ending for the 2006 remake, especially after watching this a few times this year and everything, it's kind of okay, it's, I give them credit for the remake for kind of looking into the whole Billy character, his backstory and everything, because I know I'm one of the first people to sometimes say, like, God, there are certain horror characters I would love sort of more of a backstory or an origin story, such as, like, Freddy, even though we kind of know his story, or Jason. Like, I don't think we needed one on Michael. Sorry, all you Rob Zombie fans. It just... I mean, I give him credit for trying to do something, but we didn't really need a Mike Myers, like, backstory, but certain characters, such as, like I said, Jason or Freddy, would be kind of interesting to see sort of like a backstory or more of like an origin story, where 2006 remake of this kind of tried to do with Billy. As much as I've bashed that movie and everything, I won't do it now just because, like I said, I do really want to give it another fair shot, because I feel like I probably have given it a lot of hate it really didn't deserve. So, but no, this one though, back to the 1974 version, the OG. I do love the fact that we don't know really anything about this character, why he's doing it, like what his motives are, and the fact that he was not even caught because they all thought that it was one of the boyfriends. So yeah, Billy totally got away with it. Plus, our virgin is still up in the attic, like with her freaking plastic bag in her mouth. Like, yeah. And this movie does actually go on, work with some themes and everything, female themes and everything. And this is something too, because I know there's been a lot of bash with the newest remake of this, of like the agenda. I'm gonna call it the agenda because I've heard a few people kind of say that in their reviews about that movie, of the whole like, oh my god, all guys are like douches and like women are taken advantage of. But here's the thing, and like, oh, like, women are smarter than this, than what Hollywood portrays. Here's the thing. A movie like this, that, like I said, was made 45 years ago, came out 45 years ago, it's dealing with not only a pregnancy, a young pregnancy, but also abortion. And here's the thing about this. I mean, regardless of what your thoughts are on abortion, something that I did like about this, and they did, kind of actually take care of and portray in a adult sort of way, instead of just like, oh, I'm pregnant, oh my god, we gotta get married, oh my god. Here's the thing, Olivia Hussey's character, probably shouldn't have gone through the cast on this, I'm sorry, but Olivia Hussey's character, she's the one who's pregnant. She, tells her boyfriend, like, hey, I need to talk to you, I want to talk to you in person. She lets him know what's going on in person and everything, like, I'm pregnant, and he's like, oh, we gotta have this baby and everything. She's like, hey, look, no, like, I have my future. I've been working really hard with school and everything. There's things that I want to do. I don't want to give these up. And I'm not going to ask you to give up all your hard work. You want to be a pianist, an opera pianist, or a concert pianist and everything. I'm not going to ask you to give this up because we decided to end up having a baby. Like, I would like to have an abortion because I want my future and everything. Yeah, I would like to have kids, but, like, I'm not going to throw away all the hard work I just did. Nor should you. So, I mean, something like that was done, I felt like it was done pretty tastefully and everything. Plus the fact that, you do need to set up someone sort of like a red herring, or someone to throw you off on who the actual killer is, or who maybe the killer is and everything, in her boyfriend. So, yeah, like, stuff like that, things like that, this whole, like, women's empowerment and everything. Like, I know Cody Leach kind of mentioned this in his video and everything for the newest Black Christmas, where this whole, like, oh, feminist and everything, and, like, oh, you need women characters, the strong women lead characters. We've always had this. Case in point, movie like this, Sigourney Weaver in Aliens. I'll even go as far as saying, like, Sidney Prescott in the Scream movies. As much as I have a love-hate relationship with those movies, it's like, we don't need, like, us horror fans don't need it, like, all up in your face. Like, we can spot a strong female character before we even see a movie. a lot of times. Just saying. So sorry, I don't want this to be like a, a trash fest on the newest one, especially since I haven't seen it. But I've heard so many people talk about it. I just kind of wanted to like throw that in there too, of just like my 2 cents on, in case if anyone kind of asks in the comments of like, oh well, what do you think this whole like female empowerment? We've always had it. We can all agree. We've been raised on strong female characters. This is nothing new to us. So, but no, like I said, if you want a good decent scare, a good classic Christmas tale, check this one out, you guys. Let me know of the 3 Black Christmases that are out. I was not even going to include the third one, but it's there, like the pink elephant in the room. Let me know what you guys think is your favorite. Which take is your favorite? I'm not going to be offended if you say one of the other 2. I'm just saying. But yeah. If you guys have not checked this one out for whatever reason, check this one out. So, but anyway, guys, until next time, as always, stay creepy, classy, and a little bit sassy.